So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. The issues between Yul and his estranged wife May has continued to deepen as more words are getting traded, camps are being formed, and sides are being taken. Recall that Yul had taken to social media a few days back to appraise the previous year, the year where his first son passed, as his best year ever, very much to the chagrin of many who thought it was insensitive and lacking in emotional intelligence. May also penned down her own assessment of the year, labeling it a disaster as that year took her own flesh and blood. No one expected that May's perception of the year when she lost her son as a sad one would trigger the boy's father, Yul, but it sure did, and he took to social media to rave and rant, accusing her of sleeping with married men, being deceitful, and subliminally instigating people to hate him. He accused her of going under the knife without his consent, mocking her that if the previous year was indeed her year, she wouldn't have gone for a tummy tuck and breast enlargement surgery. Our previous video covers that in detail, link of which will be in the description box. You can make recourse to it. And if you're watching me without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up now, and you can drop your comments in the comment section as we speak. But that was not all from Yul. Some people felt that after the major backlash that Yul faced when he put out that post, he will retreat. Maybe delete that post, fall back and retrace his steps. But trust Yul to be that man who doesn't know when to sheath his sword. He has now proceeded further, harder, dirtier. He vented, "God forbid you had lost your life while undergoing breast enlargement surgery, which you didn't tell your husband about. What will people have said? Yul has killed that innocent woman. Abi, everybody will be insulting me. Who signed the consent paper? I was out of town then working. You told me you were not feeling too well, and I was saying sorry. I didn't even know what was going on till much later. And you still came on social media in your calm voice, telling people you had been sick and recovering, and they were pitying you and insulting me. Why didn't you tell them the truth? That you went for breast enlargement surgery? Enough of the manipulation. You have done enough." So Yul, in what many people have now described as gaslighting, is now painting it as though he is only concerned about her health, about her safety, about her life. Like, God forbid if you had lost your life while trying to please your married boyfriend by enlarging your breasts. You see, it has become very disturbing to a lot of people why Yul still has his eyes on May's bosoms, why he's still monitoring the shape, the size, and the dimension of his estranged wife's breasts. Why? When he has this with him. Is he now the minister of breast enlargement, reduction, and proportion? Who appointed him the boob police? They couldn't understand for the life of them this unhealthy obsession and constant attacks. And some people have begun to allege the spiritual card, that he's under a spiritual attack. He is being spiritually manipulated. He is inside the bottle. This is spiritual warfare, and Judy, the current woman, is entirely responsible. They believe that no man in his right frame of mind will be acting as irrationally as Yul Edochie, especially considering the fact that he was someone that was held in very high esteem before this whole saga. In fact, this set of people believe that it's not even you that is writing all this stuff. That if you have that gift of discernment, you will see that this is being written by a woman. First, the letters of that write-up says your husband. You didn't tell your husband. Not you didn't tell me. Secondly, all the backgrounds are in pink. Hardly is it a man's first thought of background to be pink. They believe that Judy has been in charge of Yul's social media accounts ever since she came in and took over. From his Facebook account, his Instagram, everything, she is in full control of it. Even right from the time when she was posting videos of herself celebrating a few weeks after May lost her child and calling herself the most fortunate woman in the world, posting it on Yul's page, people believe that it is not Yul posting these things, but it is Judy using his accounts to express her frustrations. But some other people are like, please forget this witchcraft of a thing. If a woman messes up, she's a prostitute. But if a man messes up, it's witchcraft. He's bewitched. He's been controlled from the other kingdom. He's been manipulated. No being clear eye in use, they do all these things. It is not his clear eyes. Now that's wicked winch. Put them for inside bottle. They control them. They press them. That is the excuse. No accountability. This set of people argue that enough of portraying these kind of men as helpless things acting out of their control. They were like, this has nothing to do with spiritual manipulation. This is a clear and physical case of a man with greed. Ojukokoro, big eyes. He wants to be an odobu. He wants to eat his cake and have it. He wants to have 2 wives. And just as he said under that Christmas picture that was doctored, he said, this is how it's supposed to be. Everybody living in peace and jolly. It is just a situation of a man who is so consumed with his own self, expecting everyone to bow to and conform to his ideals without any consideration for what other people want or their belief system. So what do you think about this? This whole suspicion of witchcraft and bottling has been going on and on for a long time. Do you actually think that this has to do entirely with spiritual captivity? Or do you think that this is purely physical? It is just a case of a man who wants to eat his cake and have it, who wants a slim woman and a fat woman, who wants a family here and another one here, who wants to live life recklessly on his own terms. What do you think about this? Now that May and Yule are in the news again, something interesting that has been happening all along has continued to happen even more intensely. And that is the ferocity at which Yule's family, both nuclear and extended, have stood firmly in support of May, their in-law, rather than their own son, Yule. It is mind-boggling to a lot of people. His auntie, Rita Edochie. Rita Edochie is married to Pet Edochie's brother. So Rita Edochie, who has been an open and fierce supporter of May Edochie, has come out once again to speak. She was so angered when that post of Yule made it out, accusing May of promiscuity and all of that. She said this: "It is too early for this nonsense. Enough of this madness. Firstly, before I proceed, Queen May, my darling daughter, I urge you to maintain your unique silence. Of course, I know you do. No need stressing further. Now, drama devil Obasi." Now, this is the name Mommy Rita, who, of course, if you do not know, is a fellow actress. That is the name that she has given Judy. Drama devil Obasi. "This is 2024. We can't begin this beautiful year with your atrocity. Stop using Yu's influence to convey these lies from your rotten heart. You are simply displeased with the series of endorsement deals that innocent lady has been getting. This has been your frustration, but get ready to cry blood because more deals are on the way. This is just very little compared to what you're about to see. The one you said you got, I just hope that brand isn't making a terrible mistake. Some brands self." However, you can deceive those you think you can deceive, but you and I know Yule is not the one writing this balderdash. If Yule is the one writing it, let him make a video of himself conveying all these write-ups through spoken words. Only then will I face him squarely. I have not been talking about him ever since this saga began because I know you have bottled him. There goes the bottling again. Don't forget to drop your comments about what you think about that. He is no longer the Yule we used to know. But trust me, that bottle will break into pieces someday. Then we will all see the drama that we watch in Nigerian movies as the end result. She ended by saying, "If you know what is good for you, kindly keep Queen May out of your promiscuous mouth. Stop these lies you're trying to spread. Drama devil Obasi. Enough is enough." Now that is the man's auntie coming out on social media to defend their in-law with her full chest, not supporting the actions of her own child, of her own family member, of her own relation. That seldomly happens. Let us take a look at what Yu's cousin wrote yesterday when she was being tagged to all this drama. Sheila Edochie, of course, bearing the same surname, you will know that she's a close family relation. So Sheila is Yu's cousin. She said, "Nobody should tag me to any nonsense posts. The whole Edochie family is tired of that guy. You all drag him directly for all I care and put your energy in growing Yul Edochie's brand." Tagging her. Patronize the brands she represents, repost her works, and pray for her. Thanks. Unbelievable. This is unprecedented. Imagine calling for prayers to be directed to her in-law, the outsider, the woman that came into their family, not her own brother. This is some wonders. Let us not forget also that Yu's brothers have also stood firmly behind me, attending her events. They're always there to support her, drumming words of encouragement for her, always in a comment section congratulating her for every milestone achieved. They have shown their unalloyed loyalty to me, and never for once have we seen their comments or their support on their brother's page or the second woman. Even Yu's elder brother at a time came out to speak, where he said that marriage Yul had with the other woman was not endorsed, and for them it doesn't even exist. They stood by me. Even Yul's father, the legendary Peter Edochie, who is a very traditional man, a red cap chief, who some would think will be more inclined, more tilted towards polygamy, has stood his feet down. He said that he didn't know when his son picked that second woman, and he has sang beautiful songs of praises to his daughter-in-law May, saying that they are not in support of what their son is doing.
Women convert houses into homes. If you don't have a woman in the house, your house can never be a home. I have lived with this woman for the past 53 years. Nobody has ever come in here to say, "Pete, oh, please stop beating her, you will kill her." No. Why? I never saw my father beat my mother. So I cannot say I learned from my father how to beat my mother. No. You will always think it's greener on the other side. That's the mistake that we all make. Try to be satisfied with what you have within you. Mary is not just a daughter-in-law. I don't want to say that I love Mary more than the other wives of my sons. But the love I have for Mary is so strong. Mary is a girl I love to the marrow. By the way, she's a wonderful person. Mary is a very, very brilliant girl. You may not know that. Mary is a computer wizard, that lady you're looking at, right? And to a very large extent, the success of that home is to Mary's credit. And Mary is a wonderful woman. I really don't interfere in his affairs. No. Suddenly we heard he's picked up a second wife, right? We always say in Igbo, "Onye kpata nkwu arụrụ si ngwele bịa tụọ onye ava." In other words, if you go and pick up ants-infested faggots, it's a direct invitation to the lizards.
At some point, Auntie Rita even challenged Judy to a physical duel, a physical battle. Come out, let us fight.
Wife, if you don't allow you to go back to the wife, Judy Austin, Judy Austin, I've been allowing you, I've been waiting for you to talk. You've not said anything. Judy Austin, come out and talk. Let's do it one-on-one. Yes. Judy Austin, let me bring you down. But for you to be pregnant and you're bragging about it, you must be to show you that you guys cannot do anything. You're going to Abuja, I know. Where you are living, I know. You are in Abuja. But I tell you, I know where I'm a violent woman. What I'm trying to tell you is, God for Jesus. Yes. We also go. I can get married for.
It is that bad, that good, depending on how you want to put it. These kinds of situations are rare. If you're married, you know what I'm talking about. Even if you're not married, your common sense will tell you that naturally, parents' relations are inclined to take sides with their own child. To some people, their son can do no wrong. They will support anything and everything he does. They cannot throw him away. He is their flesh and blood. A parent would typically defend their own child. But in this case, we are seeing the whole of the family, both nuclear and extended, antagonizing their child and standing in defense of a stranger, their daughter-in-law. And for a lot of people, this shows the kind of woman that she is. Because trust me, if you are evil, you cannot hide evil for 20 years. You cannot hide evil for 15 years. People will see through you and see you for what you really are. So for that woman to stay in that family for almost 20 years and get this kind of support and accreditation from her husband's family, it speaks a lot. It counts for something. It's a huge indication. There is no way this woman would have been maltreating this man that it would have not gotten to the ears of his family. There is no way in the world that during the course of that almost 2 decades of marriage, this woman has been acting out of line or misbehaving that it wouldn't have gotten to the ears of one of her in-laws. Yul is the last child. He has about 4 or 5 brothers. There is no way it would have not been whispered to the ear of one of his brothers and it will spread to the whole family. We all know how it works. When you are in torture, one day you will confide in somebody, but not a word. Not a bad word from her in-laws. And Yul is now coming out to say, do the world know the kind of woman you are? You are a bad woman. Is it because I'm not talking? You has been saying this. Is it because I'm not talking for a long time? You and I know the kind of man Yul is. That if he has something on that woman, now that push has gotten to shove, he will release his evidence like no man's business. But he still has nothing. Even this promiscuity that he's accusing her of, evidence no day. Talk is cheap. Anybody can come and say, you slept with me. You didn't sleep with that man. You slept with that man. No name, no place, no proof. Forgetting that when this whole issue came up, you didn't say he wanted out of the marriage. A typical Igbo man, if you are promiscuous or if you are making his life in marriage hard, he will opt out of that marriage. And if he wants to marry another woman, he will marry the woman with his full chest and say, I do not want this woman. She's a bad woman. She's a promiscuous woman. But have we forgotten so soon that when Yul came out with this drama, he didn't say May did anything. He said that he wanted 2 wives. He kept on coming on social media to say, May, my queen, my first wife. Hello, my first wife. I love you, my first wife. And tomorrow he'll post Judy and say, oh, hello, my second wife. So he wanted the both of them. And May is like, hello, that was not part of the plan. I don't want to be numbered amongst wives. When we're getting married and building together, you didn't tell me that there will be wife number 1, wife number 2, or wife number 3. I'm not up for that. And because she resisted being forced into an arrangement that was not befitting for her religion, for her belief system, he has now turned it around to call her a bad woman, that he is it because he's keeping quiet, she is this, she is that. So why didn't you divorce her? So many men divorce their wives and have moved on and nobody is dragging them. Uncle Nino B and the wife are no longer together and there are indications that he's with another woman. Nobody is going to harass him. He left the first marriage and he has a right to remarry. Not the man that wanted to keep that woman and marry another one and force them to coexist, force them to accept the situation. And now words are being changed. If she had accepted to be counted as a wife, if she had accepted that polygamy, will he be coming online now to bash her? So the answers are staring at us in the faces. And again, this is a very good time to remind you, my dear sisters and brothers, but more of the sisters, because it is a man that marries a woman and takes her into his house, into his family. She bears his name. She's the one living and coming to a new place. So if a man's in-laws do not like him, it's more tolerable, it's more bearable. He can cope with it. He's not going to them. But as a woman, you are the one living and coming to a new place. So the importance is more for you than even the man, for you to be loved and accepted. You can imagine if any of the Edochie family have come out to corroborate Yul's allegations, May's reputation would have been completely tainted. But why people are standing, even men, much to the surprise of many, men are standing up defending May, That's because it is only you saying these bad things about her. Only him. No evidence, no corroboration. So please be reminded, do not be blinded by love. That song, all I need in this life of sin is me and my boyfriend. No be for African marriage. All you need for this life of sin, now you, your boyfriend family, your own family, all of you, you need the community. You need people at your back because you do not know what is waiting for you for front. Do not ever enter a family where you are despised. Well, that being said, before we close this video, another issue that has now dragged, that is now a subject for discourse, is the issue of May still retaining Yu's name, despite they're in courts, despite what is happening, despite the marriage is strained, despite she has filed a petition for divorce. People are wondering, so why retain the man's name? Why not carve an identity for yourself? Many of you supporters have castigated May for that. Okay, you do not want the man. What are you still doing with his name? So let me tell us what the law says. Now we know that there are 3 recognized marriages in Nigeria, and all 3 are in the Matrimonial Causes Act. Any one of them or all of them are recognized by law, although some are more powerful than the other. So we have the statutory marriage, the court marriage, we have the church marriage, and we have the traditional or customary marriage. Under the traditional or customary marriage, the marriage is a union between 2 families, not 2 people. That is why back in the day, in some cultures, when culture and traditions predominantly controlled the way things are run in the society, you see widowed women marry their husband's brothers, because traditionally she is not married to that individual that passed, she is married to the family. So relaying it to modern and contemporary time, that Edoche name does not only belong to you, it belongs to the family that the woman is married into. And that is why many women, even when they divorce their husbands, the individual, they still retain the family name, because their children, they still feel the connection, they still feel the loyalty, they still feel the love, they still feel the belonging to that family. It's a thing of choice. Moving on to the statutory marriage, until a divorce decree is given, absolutely, for all intents and purposes, the parties to that marriage are still legally seen as husband and wife and are still bound on their marriage vows. Nobody has a right to marry or remarry in the course of a divorce proceeding. Forget that here in some parts of the world, in some parts of Africa, anarchy reigns supreme, lawlessness reigns supreme. But in the true face of facts, nobody is allowed to get remarried until the divorce is concluded. So if you are a woman, you are still a wife of that man. There can be a judicial separation, you guys can be living apart, but the marriage still subsists. So let us take this in 2 steps: bearing the name before the divorce is concluded, and bearing the name after the divorce is concluded. Let's take the first one, before conclusion of divorce. Before the conclusion of the divorce, she is within her rights 100% to retain that name, because she is still married. Despite their feuding, despite the marriage is strained, despite they are in courts, she is still married. On the other leg, after the divorce is concluded, then it becomes her own prerogative, her own discretion to choose whether to drop the name or to retain the name. There is no law that compels a woman on what name she chooses to bear or chooses not to bear. Married women can get married and not change to their husband's name, and it is not illegal. It may be immoral, it may anger your spouse, but a woman can choose that, yes, I'm married, but I do not want to bear your name. It is not illegal. So also a woman can get divorced and choose not to drop the name. Just several women who have gotten divorced and still maintained the old name. Maybe because they do not want to go through the hassles of changing documents upon documents, from BVN, bank verification numbers, to your company documents, to your international passports, your voter's card, your national identity cards. There are so many documents to change. Some people want that uniformity with their children. They do not want to go somewhere and the child is bearing Jack Okafor and the mother is bearing Jane Elumelu. They just want to just continue without causing any hitch. So it is entirely the woman's choice whether to drop the name or not to drop the name. It doesn't mean that she is in any way hoping to be linked to that man. It is a matter of choice. And legally speaking, traditionally speaking, that woman has a right to choose or not to choose that name. So now that this name change is becoming a big issue on social media, continue to drop your thoughts about what you think. Do you think that she should just drop this name and just move on? Or do you think that she should keep the name, as that is her identity and her brand? Finally, in all of this drama, Maya Doche has now given her response. A very painful response, very painfully hot to the marrow. Let me read it. There's nothing to read. The response is silence. Deafening silence. Loud silence. A silence that screams. In the eye of the storm, in the face of adversity, she has still maintained her position of utmost silence. And she has retaliated in the most brutal fashion. She has paid back. She is getting her pound of flesh. And what is this retaliation? Success, growth, elevation, making sure that she is not seen in that same spot where she was shoved down. She is moving and moving hard, deaf to the distraction. Maya Doche, totally ignoring the whole drama, continued posting on her Instagram page videos and pictures of new endorsements coming in their numbers, forging on with her life and taking her revenge in the most unique of all fashions. What a silent, unpredictable, incalculable woman. Our eyes are open and we are watching. So yes guys, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here, you're seeing me for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget once again to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments, your thoughts, your feelings down in the comment section, and stay glued because we have so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.